Welcome to the Grab the Map podcast, where we don't just look at it, we grab the map. I'm John Crutchfield, and I host a little podcast where we talk about investing in rental real estate. And I love doing this podcast because it gives me a chance to talk to you. Yes, you. You are probably somebody who has rental houses, or you're interested in real estate investing, or maybe you've gotten started and flipped a few houses, or maybe you haven't yet and you just want to talk to somebody who's in the business. I own a little company called Grab the Map, and we manage real estate in Mississippi, Texas, and Louisiana. And I own lots of rental property. I've been blessed and fortunate to be able to see how real estate can change your family tree. It has changed my life. Cash flow makes everything easier. And I'd love to be able to help you over at Grab the Map Education. So if you haven't yet, check our website out at grabthemapllc.com. I love interacting with people at grabthemap@gmail.com. Send me an email. And I want to jump right into today's podcast because today I really want to think about and reflect about the first quarter of 2020. You know, it's May the 1st and 2020 is here, and 2020 is different. 2020 started off with a lot of people talking about their vision and talking about what was going to make 2020 special. And I don't think anybody could have predicted what we're going through right now. What we're going through right now is COVID-19, which is a version of the coronavirus, and it has literally shut everything down. It's May the 1st at the time that I'm recording the podcast. You're probably listening to it a little bit after that. But what's happening is some businesses are closed, some businesses are open. Lots of people are staying home. Lots of businesses are being affected by this virus. And I just want to reflect a little bit because sometimes you need to think about how your business is going, think about what's happening in your business, and then plan next steps. You see, I don't tell a lot of people exactly how much rental property I own anymore because it doesn't matter. I own lots of rental property. I have lots of tenants, and I want to think about what's going on in my business in several ways. First, I want to think about acquisition. As of May 1st, I don't have any properties under contract. This is the first time I have not had a property under contract. That means a property that I plan to close on in 2 years. For about 2 years, I've been steadily building my rental portfolio. I always stretch out my contracts with sellers when I plan to buy a property because it gives me time to find the funding and make sure the money is there. But as of today, I don't have any properties under contract. That has never been the case as I've been growing this business. And you know what? It seems like the right time to be in that position. It seems like the right time not to be out putting things under contract and making commitments to come up with money because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know how long this virus is going to be impacting the economy, and we don't know how long funding and lenders are going to be different than they used to be. Now, that's not to say that if a great deal didn't come by me or if a great deal wasn't put in my lap, I wouldn't take it. As a matter of fact, if a great deal comes by, I'm probably going to buy it. But as of right now, just reflecting, I don't have any properties under contract, and that seems like an okay thing. You know, my investors are happy. I've got investors who invest in Grab the Map. They've been getting their returns. They've been getting their funds back. And, you know, it's just a great time to invest, but it's a great time to just slow down. You know, I have a friend who talks about slowing down to speed up. And sometimes you do have to slow down a little bit and speed up, which leads me to my next point. Not only do I want to talk about acquisition, but I want to talk about the actual property management part of real estate investing. You see, sometimes we forget that we don't just buy the properties, but if we're going to hold them as rentals, we also have to keep them functioning and keep tenants in the properties. And that is an area that I'm going to focus on for the next few months. You see, I've been trying to build out a team to manage my rental property, and that is tough work. You've got to have people that have drive and ambition, that are organized and know how to talk to tenants. And I've gone through with quite a few people on my team lately. And so, what slowing down the acquisition is going to allow me to do is it's really going to allow me to do some research, figure out the best way to find a good property manager and put that person in charge of managing my rentals. I don't have a property management company that manages my portfolio because at this point we're just too large of a company not to have it in-house. And the revenue that would be taken from that would keep me from being as profitable as I would like to be. So when I think about the rental aspect, the property management aspect, it is going to take me some time to figure out. And right now I need to figure out exactly where I'm going in that area. When I think about my consulting business, consulting is at an all-time high. People are reaching out and they want to talk about how to do their first deal. They want to talk about how to make a business out of real estate. And I do some one-on-one coaching. I also host a masterclass. And this year we're trying to host our first event later in 2020 if groups are allowed. If you're interested in that, you can always email me at grabthemap@gmail.com, and I'll definitely talk to you about some one-on-one coaching. How do you get started with a rental business? How do you get started managing property? What are some things you should look out for? What are some things you don't know? And on the consulting side of things, I'd like to have more clients than I have right now as I reflect, but I still want to keep the group small enough to where I can work with everybody on an individual basis. Next, as I review the first quarter of 2020, I think about where I want to go from here. We are managing over 100 rental units at this point, and I think I'm at a crossroads. I'm thinking about how big I want my business to be, and I'm thinking about exactly what type of properties I want to own. Right now, most of my rental properties are single family houses. I've got some multifamily as well, some duplexes and triplexes and an 8-unit. And I want to get larger units. I know I want to do some multifamily. But the question I'm going through right now is, do I want to build some nice multifamily, or do I want to buy something, an older product that I can rehab and fix up? That's very popular right now. Do I want to raise a whole bunch of private money and just really 10x my business and go from 100 or so rental units to 1,000 doors? I haven't decided yet. And this type of reflection is what you have to do in business to decide what the right move for you is. My family is the most important thing in my life, and spending time with my kids and watching them grow up at the age of 8 and 6 is really important to me right now. And being home and being around them, giving them the time and support that they need from the dad, is something that I think about a lot. So, hey, I'm reflecting about this stuff. I'm thinking about it. But I'm also very active still in the real estate space. Grab the Map is going to be a name that is known in real estate in Mississippi and beyond. And what I want you to think about as you decide the next step for your business is, how often are you doing this type of reflection? How often are you thinking about what's next for your business? What's happening in your business right now? How often are you taking a time to pause and say, where am I at? And I wanted to kind of do a little rant here so that you could think about that, because it's very important that we think about it. Hey, this is Grab the Map, where we don't just look at it, we grab the map.